Although I think it was the last one available on the website next to the Laserdisc, which the Laserdisc I thought was super cool. You want me to pause real quick?
Yeah.
Oh my god. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Marcus, and today we're doing something a little different again. So, I'm a vinyl record collector, as you could obviously see from the title, but I want to start getting that into the channel a little bit more, incorporating that into this because obviously we're reacting to music here, and this is where I'm showcasing my love for hip hop, R&B, pop, whatever it is. You guys are going to see my versatility here when it comes to my music selection and what I like to listen to in my regular life. I know we react to a lot of hip hop here, but I want to expand the channel. Obviously, we included Amanda on the last couple episodes, getting some pop records in there, some R&B records in there. We've done some Chris Brown reactions, so I kind of want to show my range and show that it's not just hip hop. And I think these records here kind of sum that up a little bit. So I've collected 15 records in the year of 2025 so far. And these are just the ones physically that I have with me. I have quite a few more on pre-order that are not here yet. So I just thought it would be a good time to get into these and show you what I've got. So basically, I started casually record collecting back in 2016. And when I say casually, I mean very casually. I mean, I thought I was the shit when I had like 10 records. So, I mean, I was super ecstatic with it. I had my very entry level Victrola all in one record player, had it at the house. My parents listened to records growing up. They weren't like super record collecting nerds or anything like that, but there was physical media in the house, whether it be CDs or vinyl records. We were always listening to some sort of physical media. And yeah, I carried that on into my life. 2016, started doing it casually, going into record stores, buying whenever stuff would be available online. But I didn't have a ton of money at that time. I was still living with my parents, so didn't have a ton of space of my own. So, like I said, it was very casual at that time. Moved in with my now fiance in 2018. Bills started piling up. Adult stuff starts happening. 2020 happens. I'm not making that much money again in 2020. Business on my day job side was not doing well, and didn't have a ton of disposable income. Uh, Moved into this new house a couple years ago, and all the vinyl's been in the basement for the past few years, and I feel ashamed about that. Uh, I really used needing a new record player as my excuse as to why I didn't bring records upstairs and get a space going, but it was just pure laziness, and I just didn't get back into the hobby like that. Kendrick dropped GNX. I ordered that vinyl the day after my birthday. Dropped in November, or the album dropped. I believe the album dropped in November, but the vinyl dropped towards the end of November around my birthday. I copped that. It came in, and I was like, "Damn, I gotta get my record player back up here. I gotta get my records on a shelf. I gotta do something here." So went out, invested in a Audio Technica LP60X with Edifier speakers, brought my collection upstairs, and it's been down the rabbit hole since then. So I have collected 15 records, and when I say in 2025, that's literally just in the past couple months because it has not been that long of me getting back into records, like going to record stores, buying records, looking online, seeing what's dropped. I'm following 99 Dro on Twitter, getting all the updates. So yeah, I could get a little impulsive around here, but we're keeping it keeping it into a range where we can reasonably collect records. Uh, Kind of slowing back on the shoe purchases, kind of slowing back on some other of my hobbies. And I'm going to focus on my physical media collection here, my physical music collection, because music is so important to me. And at the end of the day, I really love physically owning this music. And we'll get into why I collect records and all that other stuff later. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. I got these not in order of when I got them, but I got them in order alphabetically because that's just how I picked them off the shelf. So let's go ahead and get started, man. First up, classic, bro. Low End Theory, Tribe Called Quest. Yes, I have them in A. I did not put them in T. So it is A, Tribe Called Quest's Low End Theory. Let's go ahead and turn the brightness down on these real quick. so we don't have a crazy amount of glare there, even though there still kind of is some. I could take them out of the, yeah. Oh, that didn't really help much either. Whatever, you get the point. Low End Theory, Tribe Called Quest, super awesome album. Let's see, what are my favorite tracks on here? I think we got Bugging Out on here. Yep, Bugging Out, Excursions, Sky Pager, Scenario, goes crazy, Vibes and stuff. Tribe Called Quest is just one of those that I just throw on when I don't know what else to play. When I don't know what else to play, I'm throwing on Tribe Called Quest. It's just a dumb reach. It's like that outfit that, you wear when you don't know what else to wear. Got to throw on Tribe Called Quest. Speaking of, had to pick up my favorite Tribe album, which is Midnight Marauders. This is, personally, I just like the story with the narration from the robotic voice throughout the album. Let's see, what are my favorite songs on here? Stir It Up, absolutely one of my favorite songs on here. Stir It Up, definitely my favorite on here. But overall, I like it's a shorter album. It's got the narration on it, and yeah, just overall vibes on this album. Like I said, when you don't know what else to play, throw on some Tribe because you cannot go wrong, man. I definitely want to get into their a little bit more of their discography. I really like their 2016 album and their debut because I believe that's their second and third album. So I got to get into the debut. Next, another modern classic, Adele, 30. Going crazy with the clear vinyl there. That one is awesome. I really, really like this one. Adele, I Drink Wine on this one is amazing. My Little Love, Easy on Me, All Night Parking, that is my shit. All Night Parking and I Drink Wine are probably my favorites. So that side C on this album is going absolutely crazy. I gotta have Adele in the collection. Unfortunately, this is my only Adele album that I have in the collection. So I do gotta get 21. Wasn't the biggest fan of 25 or 19, but I definitely gotta get 21 in the collection for sure. Keep it rolling. Another classic singer. We got Aretha's Gold. So we got Aretha Franklin and pretty much just her number one hits, man, on gold vinyl. So Aretha's Gold on gold vinyl. You can't go wrong with that, man. Obviously, you got Respect on here. I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Love You. Dr. Feelgood. Chain of Fools, one of my favorite Aretha Franklin songs of all time. Think, anthem, dude. Absolute anthem in Think. You got to have some Aretha Franklin in the collection. I do got to get into her actual projects, but this, for now, this Greatest Hits or Aretha's Gold will have to do. That's gonna have to do for now. All right, let's keep it moving. Next up, we got Ari Lennox, bro. Ari Lennox with, I believe it's pronounced pho, or I guess if we're going by the food, pho. But man, this album was my intro to Ari Lennox. I found Ari Lennox because she opened up for J. Cole in 2016 in St. Louis on the For Your Eyes Only tour. And Ari Lennox went up on stage, and I don't know if people thought she was just doing a mic check or what was going on, but she went up there and everyone was still talking. People weren't really paying attention, and she was kind of shy, you can kind of tell. And she's up there, oh, I'm Ari Lennox, I'm from Dreamville, yada, yada, yada. But once she started singing, the whole crowd just stopped. Like, you could hear a pin drop in that place because she was singing some songs off of here. And, dude, she was just absolutely killing it. My favorite songs got to be Night Drive, La 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 La, and Goat. And then this one is actually cool. It's the deluxe edition. So disc 1, we got all the regular songs. And then on disc 2, we've got all the instrumentals. So instrumentals definitely going to get play on the record player for sure. Now this one. This has got to be one of my favorite pickups of 2025 so far. This is probably my number one favorite album of 2025 so far. I can't thank you guys enough for tapping into my reaction of Birds Don't Sing by Clips. Specifically, that Malice verse that made me cry. As you could see, we have the signed insert signed by Malice and Pusha T. This is my second Pusha T signature in the collection. I have a signed CD insert for It's Almost Dry that I put in the vinyl sleeve, but this, I really like that this artwork here. This Cause artwork. I feel like this almost damn near could have been the album cover. Like I really feel like it could have been the album cover and it would have been amazing. But you got the pink translucent vinyl. So we got on pink wax there with the signed insert. I do have a bone to pick a little bit with this one. So this record does not come with So Be It, which is one of my favorite tracks on the album, and it doesn't have the Tyler verse on POV, which is one of my favorite verses on the album. So a little unfortunate that those didn't make the cut for this pressing, specifically the signature with the pink translucent. And that's just what you get when you buy a first test pressing or a first press or whatever. You could be missing some stuff. You could be missing some samples. Stuff doesn't get cleared in time for the physical release. So, it is what it is. I got another version on the way of this, so I will have the full album that I could actually play. But in terms of the collection, getting something signed by Push and Malice in a year where they dropped, to me, their best work, I very grateful to have this in the collection. Very, very grateful. Now, switching gears a little bit, this is a classic. This is mostly for Amanda, I would say. This is more Amanda's speed, but something really, really special about this album. Earth, Wind, and Fire and Friends, their ultimate collection. Now, Earth, Wind, and Fire has been sampled in hip-hop for years. Their impact on music and culture is out of this world. In terms of what I listen to, I don't really be listening to a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire, but the song September holds very, very emotional. It really sticks with me emotionally because it was kind of a joke. It's one of Amanda's favorite songs to kind of just like scream and be happy with and kind of annoy me with a little bit. And in that song, he says, "Do you remember the 21st night of September?" And so based on that, I decided to propose to Amanda on September 21st, 2024. So this song, September, on the yellow vinyl, by the way, this is super fire. Limited edition, apparently. But Earth, Wind, and Fire, specifically having to get September in the collection, this was a must. We just picked this up at Vintage Vinyl a couple weeks ago. And yeah, absolutely had to have this in the collection. Moving on, another one of my favorite albums to drop this year, and I got a really, really cool edition of it. I think I got one of, if not tied for the best variant of this album, and this is Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist, Alfredo 2. I really like this one because it's actual Alfredo on the cover. So the other one was Ramen, which I get it. Alfredo is Alchemist and Freddie Gibbs, so it's not really exactly the food ramen, but I like that this cover has actual Alfredo on it, and then it's being pressed with the $100 bills, turning into the Alfredo. And not only that, we got the limoncello colored vinyl. Holla at ya, boy, man. This was a Spotify first exclusive pressing of this, and yeah, I had to get this immediately, man. These sold out pretty quick. Although I think it was the last one available on the website next to the Laserdisc, which the Laserdisc I thought was super cool. You want me to pause real quick?
Yeah.
Oh my god. But no, the Laserdisc pressing of this was one of my favorite covers, actually showing Freddie and Alchemist on the cover of it. But the color of the vinyl was actually really cool too. But I just thought this Spotify first limoncello pressing with the actual Alfredo on the cover. This is just such a rustic cover. It's like, I don't know, man. I really like this. This is a super dope pickup. One of my favorite albums of 2025. And let's keep this rolling, man. What else we got? Oh man. Now let's get into some live performances, dude. So my Mac Miller collection definitely needs some work in my vinyl collection. I only have this and Swimming, and I'm a OG Mac Miller fan. I'm talking, I was watching Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza when that thing had a couple thousand views on YouTube. Super influential in my young high school years, very influential in my adulthood. And I remember right before he passed, I was watching The Tiny Desk, listening to Swimming, and just talking about how underrated Mac Miller is as an artist. And, unfortunately, he passed right after that. But I'm glad that I was one of the ones that gave him his flowers early, because this right here, this NPR Tiny Desk performance is, ah, man, it just brings out emotions every time, especially when he plays 2009. The live instruments on that, Mac Miller's voice and the passion that he delivers this with is just fantastic. On blue vinyl, and actually, cool thing about this blue vinyl, if I could take it out real quick, I'm trying not to touch the grooves here, but it's got a cool signature on the back. I don't even know if you could see it. Oh, it says like Mac Miller, love you always. I don't know if you could see it. Probably not. But that is super cool since it was only one side, they etched the other side, and I thought that was a really cool way to do that. And this blue just hits, man. And the way this sounds on vinyl or on the record player is incredible. Speaking of live performances, we're going to take it straight to Mariah Carey MTV Unplugged. Starting with Emotions, starting with the song that, I don't know what they were accusing her of at the time, but apparently people thought her voice wasn't real. They thought she was using effects or something along those lines. And Mariah Carey came out to Emotions and just absolutely killed it. If you like vocalists, if you like big singers, and you haven't heard Mariah Carey Unplugged, you gotta tap in, bro. This project is incredible. It's an incredible performance. Emotions being my favorite, but Vision of Love falling right after that. Doing I'll Be There. Just a super flawless performance. Amazing vocal talent. The best vocalist of all time. One of the best songwriters of all time. One of the best artists of all time. Mariah Carey. I said it, period, point blank. Let's go ahead and move on. Another one of my favorite albums of 2025. Someone that y'all are sleeping on. This is Russ Wild. And as you can see, I got the signature on the jacket. Shout out to Russ. Russ sold these online. I think they retail for like $17.99, which is the lowest that you could sell a vinyl record at for it to actually count towards album sales. So not only did we get the vinyl for under $20, but we got the signature too. Dude, Russ is for the people, and on blue vinyl, this nice light blue to go with the album cover. Yeah, this is just incredible. Super incredible piece of work. My favorite songs on here probably being Forever, Superman, and How'd You Do It? Or How'd He Do It? Fantastic project. This is Russ at his best production, his best rapping, his best singing. So to me, I think this is absolutely Russ's best project, and I really can't wait to see more from him. He's touring right now, selling out arenas across the country, and y'all just got to put some respect on Russ's name, man. Russ is a fantastic artist, should be super inspirational to anybody in that independent mindset, anybody trying to get it on their own and just grind, man. We're going to switch gears again. You could laugh at me, but whatever. I recently discovered Sade and Sade Promise. So I had a couple Sade songs added on my Spotify. Added them to the Slow Jams playlist. A couple made the Clean the House playlist, but I did not really know her by name like that. And that's super unfortunate because I was going through Spotify, listening to music. One of her songs came up and I was like, oh man, that's incredible. Went through the discography and I'm like, all right, that looks like a dope album cover. Let's go ahead and hit that. Bro, Is It a Crime came on and I instantly fell in love. Instantly fell in love. That's immediately, that's a fantastic song. The instruments, her voice, the performance on that from all aspects, really jazzy, but she's got a soft voice that's still very strong and powerful. Is It a Crime, by far my favorite song on here, but War of Hearts also goes hard. Mr. Wrong, Tar Baby. But yeah, Is It a Crime is definitely the one. Is It a Crime for sure has my number one spot on Sade's album. I definitely need her first album, and I think I need that best of, but there was a couple projects in there in the middle that weren't my favorite, but this one stood out. And when I finished it top to bottom, I knew immediately that I needed this on vinyl because that it's just an incredible project. And it's one of those that if you haven't heard this, once you hear it, you'd be like, okay, I could see why you need that on vinyl. It's just incredible. All right, keeping it pushing. Another 2025 release. We got Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler, the Creator. This is the test pressing version with, there's a couple differences. I think there's a couple sample differences, and there is a bonus track. So that is pretty cool. My only thing is I wish he didn't ship it in this stupid ass plastic sleeve. I was really concerned when I opened up the box and it was just the plastic sleeve sitting right there. That was a little concerning, but we got it on the clear vinyl. My favorite songs on here are Ring 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 and damn it, what's the other one called? Oh, I'll Take Care of You with Yebba. That gives me At Night I Think of You. No, this album super fun by Tyler the Creator. I kind of expected the rap vibes out of this one, so it disappointed me a little bit in that aspect. But when you really take his message of, hey, this isn't that deep, just dance, bruh, this is a great project. I really like it. My favorite ones obviously are the more upbeat, dancey vibes. So I think he really he hit with what he wanted to do on this project. He set a goal and he nailed it. This was a good project. Definitely going to be up there for 2025. All right, we just got two more. This one was a grail of mine when I first started record collecting. Now, I didn't get the original pressing or anything like that. This is a reissue. This is an anniversary edition, but this goes all the way back to one of my first CDs ever that I would shove in my pants pocket, taking it to school and let it skip and all that. It's Usher, Confessions. Now, this is like I said, the anniversary edition. So it's got a couple bonus tracks on there. I've got a orchestra version of Burn and Superstar, which on this album, Superstar is my number one favorite Usher song of all time. So it's easily going to be my number one favorite Usher song on this album. And one thing I think is cool about this is the picture on the inside. That is what the CD looked like. So that really gave a lot of nostalgia for me growing up, was seeing that all the time, pulling it out of my pocket in class and just playing Usher Confessions over and over and over again. This was extremely influential on my music taste growing up and just extremely influential on my life. I really, really dig this project. Very glad that I got it on vinyl because when I was first getting into collecting, it was one of the first ones I wanted. After I got a couple, I was like, I got to go get Usher Confessions. That thing was like $150, $200. So I'm not spending all that on a vinyl, at least at this stage of my life. So I'm glad we got a reissue. I'm glad we got an updated version with a couple bonus tracks. I have not spun this yet, so I'm really excited to hear the orchestra version of Superstar because, like I said, favorite Usher song of all time. Easily my favorite on this album. Very glad we got an anniversary edition of this. So be patient, man. If you see that grail that you want, just be patient. Hopefully it'll reissue one day. Hopefully it'll repress, or hopefully you can grab it for a good price. But the last album in this sequence, at least, that I picked up in 2025 is, you got to have this classic, man. Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. I got the Obi strip on this side because it is an anniversary edition. And it's got one of my favorite pressings in the collection. You got the black and yellow splatter on clear vinyl. I think putting that on clear vinyl sends the message more than if this were on black vinyl with yellow splattering. I've already spun this. Sounds great. Sounds exactly like you would expect a Wu-Tang album to sound on vinyl. It's super raw. My favorite songs are Bring the Ruckus, Cream, obviously. Like, you can't. It's kind of like beating a dead horse with Cream, but when you really listen to what they're saying on that track, the raps, the production, the sampling on the piano, the pockets that each of them get into on their verses, this is an incredible project. And like I said, I really, really like that black and yellow splatter. Really makes a good addition. It looks dope on top of white acrylic slip mat. And yeah, so what I say, Bring the Ruckus, Cream, Protect Your Neck, Method Man, Tears. It's just a classic, man. If you're a hip hop head, if you're maybe even if you're just getting into hip hop and you don't know where to start, I wouldn't necessarily say start with this album, like this is the one to start with, but you should be starting around this era, like early '90s, late '80s. That really gives you a vibe for hip hop at its truest roots and hip hop at its truest form, and then you can kind of progress from there. I'm glad when I got into hip hop. Now I started with Dr. Dre. I started with the Chronic and Chronic 2001, but in terms of me actually getting into, all right, let's go back a little bit deeper. Started with Chronic and then I kind of went backwards. Went to NWA, Ice Cube, Easy E, Tupac, Biggie. So there was a lot of stuff that I missed at that time. One of them being Wu Tang Clan. Also, one of them being A Tribe Called Quest, because I was kind of just hitting a lot of the more mainstream stuff at the time. But Wu Tang Clan got onto them early high school, probably, maybe even middle school, but definitely early high school. Cream was my shit. When I first heard Cream, I couldn't stop bumping it. And this is just New York raw hip hop at its finest, man. So, yeah, those are the records I've picked up in 2025. I got plenty more on the way, so I'll be looking forward to unboxing those with you guys. And me and Dante will be doing a full collection review at one point. So it'll take a lot longer than that because obviously it just took me 20, 30 minutes to get through 15 records. But when we do that full collection review, I will be going through them a lot quicker, kind of be like, oh, hey, I got this album, here are my favorite tracks. All right, moving on to the next one. This one, I kind of just wanted to show my versatility a little bit of the stuff that I have picked up this year. Definitely looking forward to more that I've got in the mail, on pre-order. I've got Jid's album on pre-order. Haven't even heard it yet. At the time of recording this, I haven't even heard Jid's album yet. We're a couple days late. Have to wait to listen with my brother, so we'll get a couple reactions going for that. But that one's not shipping until February, so I won't be able to show that one off till February when that gets into the collection. But yeah, for now, I'm definitely glad I'm back into the physical music game. I think it's super important to have physical music and owning the piece of music instead of renting it from a streaming service. It's just one of those things where I like the intimacy of putting a record on and paying attention and sitting down and listening to it like you sit down and watch a movie. It's a it's one of the ritual things that I like. It's like I like making a cappuccino for my fiance every morning. It's a ritual. Walking over to the espresso machine, grinding up the beans, steaming the milk, pouring it out. Like it's a ritual, and it kind of makes the process more intimate. And I feel the same way about spinning a vinyl record. So I'm looking forward to spinning some of these that I haven't spun yet, and we'll definitely be back on the next one with some more vinyl. Thanks for tapping in, y'all. See you on the next one. Peace.